Hey guys, I'm going to talk about two things in this video. The first one being a mainstream wrestling topic, and the second one being an independent wrestling topic. I will talk about the mainstream wrestling topic first. That way those of you who are subscribed to me, who are just fans of mainstream wrestling, can turn the video off once I start talking about Ring of Honor. That way, I'll be nice that way, and everyone involved will be all the happier for it. So that's how this video is going to go. I know I haven't made all that many videos lately. My reason is pretty much the same as Honor Hammers. I also have graduation coming up at the end of the month, and then I have some finals for like a one for just over a week. So basically for another month it's going to be like this. I will get at least a video a week out, maybe two a week at the most. It depends on what there is to talk about, really. I mean, I definitely still want to get King of Trios as soon as it comes out, and make the time to watch those shows as soon as possible, because I am really excited for those shows. And then I'll probably review them, which may be a big, huge three-part video, depending on how much there is to talk about when those shows come out. But that is independent wrestling. That is another topic for another day. Let us get to the mainstream topic that I wanted to talk about, and that is the WWE's plans for Twitter, the Twitter messaging service that most internet users are aware of, and a lot of them have accounts on Twitter, including some people here. The WWE, and I will put the text of the article that I read down in the description box, apparently plans to make Twitter a big part of their programming now, or at least a big part of their company, and they want all the big main eventers to start using it. I don't usually do videos based on little tiny articles that I read on these websites, basically because they really have nothing to go on other than speculation, and the WWE changes their minds so much on this sort of thing that you really can't go on much the first time you read it. But there is more to this article than just some article on some dirt sheet website. John Cena, for those not aware, John Cena joined Twitter in the last 48 hours, and they are plugging that story on WWE.com. You can go on their website and you can see them with the news headline thing. They're plugging John Cena on Twitter now. I mean, when I read that story, I only just realized that the WWE has a Twitter account themselves. They've obviously had that for a long time, considering there are now over 5,500 tweets on there, surprisingly. But they apparently plan to make Twitter a bigger part of their company, and they have big plans for it. And that is obviously going contrary to what the previous WWE philosophy on Twitter was, in that they would be a lot better off if it didn't exist, and it was a real struggle to make the distinction between the wrestlers' free will to use the messaging service and trying to limit what they say on the messaging service. You know, people like Chris Jericho have used it for quite a while now. The same thing with actually I can't think of any more off the top of my head, to be honest. I do follow Jericho's quite frequently. He manages to entertain me quite a bit, but I'm not really a big fan of Twitter myself. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't follow that many people. Not really a big fan. But this, to me, interested me because I do want to see the WWE kind of expand their online presence and their online service aside from their website and the WWE Universe forum, because up until this point, the biggest outlet they had for online presence, Cyber Sunday / Taboo Tuesday, has been gone now since 2008. And that, to me, I still really like the concept of Cyber Sunday. I really thought that was a good idea. And I know a lot of people didn't like Cyber Sunday because they could not get past the fact, were they honest with the votes? Were they honest with the votes? My stance on it always was, whether or not they're honest with the votes, they can always see what the fans want and probably act on it eventually anyway, even if it didn't appear obvious at the event itself, whether or not they were really listening to the fans with what they wanted to see. I always thought that Cyber Sunday was beneficial, even if it wasn't as obvious as maybe it should have been. I always liked the idea, and since Cyber Sunday is gone now, I really think they need to kind of expand on their online presence, because this is what the culture wants. You know, Vince McMahon has always said he wants to appeal to what the culture wants, and that was his criticism of TNA. If anyone saw that, when he criticized TNA for being a blood-soaked tawdry performance, he said that's not what the culture wants. Well, I think that we're in the technological age, and this is what the culture wants. They want to have something they can relate to, and a lot more people are on the internet now with computers, and they want to be able to relate to that with what they watch on television. And to me, if they want to start using Twitter to have an influence on the storylines, I'd be on board with that. I'd be on board to see this internet conflicts be intertwined into the storylines, so to speak, to kind of give them an extra element and maybe kind of give them an extra dimension. And we don't usually see more than one dimension in the WWE storytelling these days. So if they started to use Twitter or anything beyond Twitter to intertwine into the storylines, I think that would be interesting. I think it would kind of appeal to the current culture and what they want to see. It might kind of allow the WWE to relate to its fans more, because most of them would be aware of Twitter and would follow people on Twitter and maybe even have Twitter accounts themselves. So I would like to see the WWE kind of make the most out of Twitter and whatever else they can find on the internet. You know, the WWE YouTube channel is extremely weak. I don't like much of what they put on that channel, and as far as I can tell, that gets hacked very easily, or appears to get hacked very easily, because you often see on that channel that I am subscribed to, at least, uploading whole episodes or whole pay-per-views, and then when you try to click into it, it's been deleted, as if it was hacked, and then it was immediately getting taken back control of. And that has happened I've seen that happen at least 3 times. So like, I don't know what's going on there, but it's not a very good YouTube channel. They need to get themselves back on the internet a little bit more, and I think this would be the best way to do it, in my opinion. Okay, moving on to some independent wrestling talk. Ring of Honor today announced their main event for the next internet pay-per-view that will be in Toronto, Canada. Death Before Dishonor IV on Go Fight Live on June the 19th on that night. And I was pleasantly surprised to see what the main event was. I was damn surprised, and I was damn happy with it as well. Davey Richards challenging Tyler Black for the Ring of Honor World Championship. This, to me, is an absolutely fantastic main event to put on this show. This is probably the biggest match. Okay, I'm not going to say the biggest match. That's a bit of an overstatement, but this is definitely one of the biggest matches they can have at this point. You know, I'm sure there'll be people who will say that Davey versus Daniels was the much better option, considering if you're trying to appeal to a certain group of fans who will only watch the internet pay-per-views as opposed to the DVDs, you want to have some continuity in that. Daniels challenged Davey at the Big Bang, and now it only works to have the first match in that feud on Death Before Dishonor VIII, and I can definitely see that argument. To me, though, this is a bit more intriguing to me. You know, I still think that most Ring of Honor fans that will be watching this show will be DVD collectors to some extent. Like myself, for example, I don't get many DVDs. I get a few. I get as many as I can keep up with, and I do follow the promotion as much as I can without getting every DVD. This to me is more intriguing than Davey versus Daniels, in that I think there is a very strong possibility that Davey could win here. I know that eventually they have to give Davey the title, because to me, and I'm going to agree with the Miz 2003K on this one, that they have not really found a proper replacement for Danielson yet. You know, Tyler Black is... Tyler Black, I think he can work a good match, a great match on occasion, but he's still not the replacement, so to speak, for Danielson or Samoa Joe or someone like that, because he doesn't have that unique presence about him, the unique way he works a match. He doesn't really have that about him. He's not the guy who's going to replace Danielson. Davey, in my opinion, is, and they are definitely going to put the title on him at some point. Could they do it on Death Before Dishonor VIII? I think they could. I think they might. Not for a definite, of course, but to me, I think they might go the route of Davey versus Daniels, the big feud for the Ring of Honor World title, and maybe let Tyler Black and Roderick Strong finish the feud without the title. You know, I guess that probably defeats the purpose of why Roderick Strong is challenging Tyler Black in the first place. But they can make it a personal feud that went beyond the title, I guess, while Davey and Daniels slug it out over the title. You know, I know there's been a lot of talk about whether Daniels is one of the hottest things on the indies right now, and whether he is on par with the biggest things we've seen on the indies over the years. I really don't think he's on Danielson's level or Samoa Joe's level. I definitely don't think he's on that level. But as of right now, I would say when the indie scene is kind of devoid of big, huge names. I think Daniels is up there. I think Davey and Daniels could definitely have potential to be a huge feud for the Ring of Honor World Title, and Davey is still the replacement for Danielson. He might, there's definitely the argument to be made that Tyler Black should at least finish his feud with Roderick Strong before he loses the title, because as of right now, if he were to lose it at Death Before Dishonor VIII, I would say he had an okay title reign. Not a great one, probably not one that's worthy of the build-up that he got to it, but not a bad title reign. It's just enough to say it's not a bad title reign. So I wish I could talk more about that, but I'm kind of running out of time. I think I'm already over the time, so I will talk to you guys later.